as for other players that the Mets are interested in, ever since the devastating injury to prospect Ronnie Mauricio, the Mets have been in the market for a veteran infielder. Mark W. Sanchez of the New York Post reported this week that the Mets are showing interest in free agent third baseman Gio Urshela. Urshela is coming off of an injury-plagued 2023 with the Angels across 62 games where he slashed .299, .329, .374 with a 92 weighted runs created plus in 228 plate appearances. With his season ending early due to a fractured hip injury, Urshela is now 32 years old, as still a high-impact defender with a career 10 defensive runs saved at third base and can also rotate around the infield. As talks with veteran infielder and former Met Justin Turner seem to have quieted down for the Mets, other veteran infield options on the free agent market also include Evan Longoria, Gene Segura, Mike Moustakas, Josh Donaldson, among others. With Mauricio on the shelf, the Mets are expected to give a majority of the third base playing time to former top prospect Brett Baty, as well as newly added utility man Joey Wendell.
It's a name we've obviously brought up before the reports. You've brought him up. There's, of the kind of depth third base extra infield option, he's the youngest. He gives you the most positional flexibility compared to a guy like Longo or Josh Donaldson or Mike Moustakas, but at his age, he's not playing second base. But he gives you the ability to play second, can play short, can play third. And, just in case of an emergency, Lindor gets hurt, you need a shortstop, because we always have to be ready for those emergencies, even though he's not the greatest at short, but he can play it, which is fine. Offensively, he had those good years in New York at Baby Park, but, ever since he's left, he still had good batting average. So, we love me some good batting averages. So, do I hate it? No, but again, like I said in the last segment, if I'm taking, let's say, Urshela and JD Martinez over a Justin Turner, Michael A. Taylor, I like that bundle more than I like obviously, like I said, with Turner. And he is still good. Like I said, he's still good defensively at third base, which at the position defense, and obviously was teammates with Lindor, so have a good defensive left side of the infield with him and Lindor. Plus, you would have Wendell, so you're improving the defense and the run prevention. So he hits that obvious big check mark for David Stearns.
Wow.
Fucking boring ass defense. Who gives a shit? Be the Phillies. Just hit nukes. Fuck defense.
Wait, I thought Stearns was lying to everyone.
Bullshit. Garen's giving a shit about defense.
It's almost like he's been saying the same thing over and over again.
Just be the Phillies, bro. Nobody gives a fuck about defense. Just have Alec Bohm play third base and hit 40, 30 nukes. That's all we care about. But besides,
would you rather your GM lie to you?
Yes. Well, because every GM lies. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, with the robust relief
market, yeah. Personally, I'm always going to go Longo. But for the best option, I do think it is Urshela because, again, position flexibility. He has played in New York, so he knows how to play. And having a friendship, or at least being a former teammate of Lindor, a lot of boxes he checks. Again, is he sexy? No. But, again, this is what this offseason's been. It's a bunch of, that looks like on paper with no funness. So, do I hate it? No. Is it a fine addition if it happens? Again, he's better than Joey Wendell. So, again, to push Joey Wendell as far down in this depth chart, I'm all for. So, and he gives you some more flexibility. So, I don't hate it.
Unfortunately, like we said, Ron Mauricio injury really messes up a lot of things. And it really just stinks that if Brett Baty could have actually did what they'd hoped he would do and be the third baseman of the future, you wouldn't really have to pursue a guy like Gio Urshela. You wouldn't have to pursue Justin Turner because you have your third baseman. But I think that at least with Urshela, he is able to push Brett Baty to the point where at least you have another option that's going to give you something. In the chance that Brett Baty just isn't giving you much, at least you're going to get something. And day in, day out, you'll get good defense, which you're not going to get it from Baty. And if Baty's if he's not contributing offensively, then what's he really giving you? So at least you're going to have a good glove and a guy who, again, in Baby Park and a juiced ball, he hit home runs. Lately, it's just been batting average. But again, at least I'm getting something offensively. So, the fact that I'm just getting at least a little bit offensively with solid defense and hoping that Brett Baty could actually take the job from him at some point. If he does get it going, maybe in the middle of the season, the second half, what have you, then okay, at least you just have another option. I just don't love going into it with the idea of, okay, Brett Baty is our only option, and if he doesn't get the job done and he struggles again, oh, well, he's our third baseman. I don't like that approach. So at least Urshela just gives them that second opportunity. and it's a big year for him. I think if you get him on the short-term deal coming off the injury, Urshela's going to be playing for a multi-year contract because he's not 39 and 40 like we talked about with Donaldson and Longoria and these guys. Like, those guys are playing for short-term deals. Urshela, he's hoping to get a nice little bounce back year so another team can give up a multi-year contract. So I think he definitely would fit that. And like you said, the fact that he's played in New York before, that's always a big plus. This way, they at least know what to expect. It's not going to totally catch them by surprise. I love that. And anytime the guy playing right next to Lindor has a good relationship with Lindor, again, that's perfect. So for me, again, like we say, no such bad thing as a one-year deal. Even if it's a 2-year deal with the second year being kind of incentive-based or mutual, what have you, I'm good with that just because, again, I feel like they need to do something. This way, they're not just totally relying on Brett Baty as the only option.
Here, I think that if they do believe in Brett Baty, I don't, but if they do believe in Brett Baty as their future third baseman, I think that Urshela is the perfect, and I mean perfect, guy that could push a guy like Brett Baty to that next level. I think that that is a perfect, I wouldn't say mentor, but like that is the perfect guy that you can install here, a guy who can play multiple positions in the infield. He's 32 years old. He might have a little bit left in him to do it. He can provide you some offense. He can provide you a little bit of power. He can provide you a little bit of that. At worst, he's batting 8th for you. If he's starting every day and Brett Baty continues to struggle, the thing is we didn't see much of the power last year. He was banged up. He had the whole hip thing. But when I see like the last 3 years, you're getting 429 slugging, you're getting, 419, 490 those last few years. What I look at it here is that I see someone who can be a solid bottom third of the order hitter at best. He can also provide some defense in the infield, best at third base. He can give you some shortstop in an emergency. He can play some second base for you. We've seen him play some first base. So he can go around the infield and provide you a little bit of value that way. And I think he can do it a lot better than Luis Guillorme did. At its best, this could be your Asdrubal Cabrera. Positional flexibility, give you a plus from every single position. This could be your Asdrubal Cabrera. But it's going to be at the bottom of the lineup because you're not owned by the Wilpons anymore. And he's going to make the lineup deep, and he's not going to be one of the main weapons. I think that this is the perfect piece that can push Brett Baty. If you believe in Brett Baty, this is the perfect guy to bring in. Maybe Justin Turner is a guy who pushes Brett Baty, but I don't think so. I think it pushes more Mark Vientos than Brett Baty. If you are trying to push your top prospect in Brett Baty to be a better third baseman, this is your guy. Let's also not forget, we also mentioned it, he has a relationship with Carlos Mendoza, and he has a relationship with Francisco Lindor. Again, this can't be the only bat you bring in. Am I taking Gio Urshela of what he's been able to provide in his career so far over the value that you were getting from Luis Guillorme? Hell fucking yeah, I am. On a 1-year deal? Absolutely. Again, if this could be your guy who travels around the infield, if somebody is struggling, you can plug him in, bat him 8th. It's a perfect fit. And I think this is the perfect third baseman, infielder type of guy to push a player like Brett Baty because he has something to prove as well. Let's not forget he's had some injuries recently. He's had trouble staying on the field throughout his entire career. On a 1-year deal, if he sucks, you just cut him. Bring in a pivotal point where you can catch lightning in a bottle. I think Gio Urshela could do that a lot better than Josh Donaldson, whose days are behind him. Longoria, who has 1 foot out the door for retirement. Mike Moustakas, we all know he's old as shit. Urshela, 32 years old. We know he has a little bit left in the tank. And I think that would be a perfect fit.